Yes, I'm afraid they are, Patrick. You're right. We are seeing, I'm hearing of more hostility by some of the later cohorts, more recent cohorts of migrants coming across the channel. It is making it quite difficult and dangerous for border force officers, immigration enforcement officers to process them, because there is more hostility, I think, towards the uniform now than there has been in the past. So it's an additional worry that, in trying to protect border security, in trying to protect the country, the border force, immigration enforcement pretty well disempowered from detaining and removing people, as you said in your report, for a variety of reasons, but nonetheless still trying to make sure that we do apply proper screening measures. But the sheer volume and the increased hostility of some of the cohorts is a concern.
Yeah, I mean, being bitten by someone who's just got off a boat, being attacked by someone who's just got off a boat. I mean, you're already copping it left, right and centre. To be fair, Border Force at times, potentially some would say unfairly, has copped it from people like me who's begged the question, what are you doing? But yeah, if our government isn't going to stand up and protect the rights of people in this country, if it isn't going to get its act together when it comes to, dealing with the burden on our housing stock or with our public services, at least maybe it might step in and do something when it comes to people like yourself being bitten.
Yeah, and I think, Patrick, that's why it's quite valuable that you and and others raise some of these issues that aren't being raised necessarily in other media channels about, firstly, the numbers. I don't hear very much of a debate about upper numbers, but if we are talking about being a country that welcomes refugees, this government has done a huge amount in Afghanistan, in Syria, Absolutely. In Hong Kong and in Ukraine to welcome numbers. But we haven't really had the debate about what is an acceptable, tolerable number of illegal migrants or irregular migrants coming in. And it was 25,000 Monday. It's now creeping up to 50, 60, 70,000. Where do you draw the line? And when do we reach that threshold when public concern has reached such a stage that you are then raising these questions of how do we accommodate, integrate these numbers of people, bearing in mind some of them may well be genuine refugees, but even then, what capacity do we have to cater for these numbers? Because we haven't seen an increased resources, Border Force enforcement, or anywhere else really for that matter, to deal with it.